We've officially just had the largest Bitcoin pullback in all of 2024, and I'm sure some of you are wondering, is the bull market over, or is there still some room to go up? In my previous videos, I discussed the upcoming volatility going into the halving and after. And when you have a market that can do a 10x in a few weeks to months, you better be prepared for the downside volatility. And one surprising thing is, in this crash, altcoins actually held up better than Bitcoin. And that's not to say that it's only up only from here, but there are some good telltale signs that this could be a local bottom in the short term. In this video, I'm going to cover the macroeconomic factors that I think the crypto markets are hinging on. I'm also going to cover the altcoin to Bitcoin market to see if we've locally bottomed. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel, it really helps the algorithm. The aim of this channel is to provide you the best crypto alpha, no hype, just value. And I personally don't think the bull run is over, and it's in times like this that the market's going down and sideways that people end up leaving and coming back and buying the top all over again. If you're still here and you're watching this video, make sure that you're paying a lot of attention to the markets in the next few weeks and months, because this is where the true buying opportunities are and this is where the money is made. Now let's not waste any more time and jump into the screens. So is the bull market over? Let's discuss this with some data, and let's begin with Rect Capital. This is summarizing the different pullbacks from the beginning of 2023 in February up until now, percentages on the left and the amount of days taken on the right. As you can see, this pullback of minus 23.6% has been the largest pullback thus far, lasting 49 days. And from what Rect Capital has gathered from his data is the closer Bitcoin gets to a minus 20% retrace, the better the opportunity becomes. And the longer the pullback, the higher the chance an impending bottom will be reached. We've now surpassed the minus 20% pullback, and in terms of time, there's been 63 days, and this is the third longest one. So if it continues for another 10 days, 14 days, and goes to 63 days, historically and statistically, it does show that this pullback would be marking a bottom. There's also Pentoshi. Pentoshi is one of the titans of the last cycle. He's been involved in crypto for a long time, and he is basically giving out his prediction of where he thinks the crypto market is going. I'm not going to read out the whole thing, but you should definitely go and read this longer post. Just to summarize what he is saying, that is that total 3, which is the total market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, is not going to have as large of a growth this time around in this cycle, and is going to have diminishing returns. And that's because when he was in 2017, it was around 12 to 15 billion in terms of total market cap, in terms of total 3. Just to quickly show you, total 3, this is going to be this chart here, currently valued at $645 billion. In 2017, when he first joined, it was between 12 and 15 billion dollars for all of the alts, and eventually that would grow to $1 trillion. And he's saying that this growth isn't repeatable. DeFi is not here. There's going to be a lot more dilution, and what he means by a lot more dilution is all of these new alts that are coming onto the market are basically having their market cap right now, which is the circulating coins and the price, and there's also their fully diluted value. And the fully diluted value is what would the market cap be of the coin if all the circulating coins came onto the market as supply and they stayed at the same price range per coin. And over time, there's more dilution into the market because there's tokens that are getting unlocked, and that for the price to stay the same, there has to be an amount of demand that comes to buy the amount of coins that keep coming onto the market. So the supply keeps flooding, and if the demand doesn't catch up, then prices fall and the markets crash, right? He's saying that as of a few weeks ago, the high amounts of token unlocks and not necessarily sold was 250 million per day. So that means that the demand, if they were all to be sold in the terms of total 3 of crypto market, so there'd have to be $250 million of new demand every single day for the prices just to stay the same. And he's saying that, of course, they weren't sold all right now, but eventually they do all have to get sold. So assuming they all got sold, and one day they will get sold, but maybe not today. But when they start selling and there's not enough buyers, that's when the market crashes. And his prediction is that total 3 won't go past 2x the 2021 all-time high. And that's going to be $2.2 trillion. So right now we're at $645 billion. What would it look like if we were to go up to $2 trillion? We are still looking at a 224% gain, so over a 3x. So there's still a lot of room to run. He's not saying the bull run is over. He's just saying that we're not going to have as large gains as last time. And I also think another very important factor to take into account in terms of the overall length of the bull run is to look at the US economy in general. And you can see that in 1 year, the spending on debt interest will be the biggest single outlay of the US government. And this means because they owe other countries so much money, they have to pay interest on top of that debt. And that debt payment, in terms of just interest, which isn't gaining any value to the society, it's purely just paying back on top, is going to be one of the single biggest outlay payments of the US government. And what happens when they are borrowing so much money because they don't have enough and they have this debt, they're going to have to print even more money to pay off that debt. And one really interesting video here by Ray Dalio talks about how fiat currencies will die. And I want you to listen to this.
Indicators of when a fiat currency is going to decline into collapse is when those who are holding its debt sell the debt, and the government, central bank, has to print money to buy that debt in large size while that's going down. Those are the most important indicators. So that you can see it, again, I want to repeat, selling the debt so that there's a big supply-demand imbalance, and the central bank having to come in there and buy the debt that no one else will buy in large quantity, so that then there's a currency devaluation. You have those three things aligned, the currency devaluation going down at the same time as those other two things are happening. And that's been a classic. It's like a bank run.
So to summarize, what does he actually mean by that? To go back to this chart here, the US owes people so much money and they can't even afford to pay their debt back, let alone their interest. So they're printing more money to buy that interest. Other countries who are holding US debt are seeing that, wow, they're printing so much money. The debt that we're holding of American money isn't worth as much. So they start selling that debt onto the market. They start dumping it onto the market. And because they're dumping it onto the market and everyone else knows that this debt is now worth less, no one wants to buy it. But if there's too much of an increase of the supply into the market and no one is buying it, it's going to show that that's going to dump the market even more because there's too much supply for too little demand. So the US now needs to print even more money to buy back this debt, which is their own. And it's just a never-ending cycle, right? And this is how the fiat currency is going to die. And this is going to mean there's going to be a lot more inflation because the devaluation of the currency, and there's a lot of money printing. And what is Bitcoin all used for? Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the devaluation of a currency. So if Bitcoin really does its true job, and this is where America is heading, then people are going to put their money into Bitcoin because this is going to be a hedge against that. And when Bitcoin goes up, what else goes up? The rest of the crypto market, because everything is following Bitcoin. It's following the king, the corn man, right? So if we know where America is going in the next few years, then it's pretty much a guarantee that the market is going to be going up from here. Yes, are there going to be troughs? Are there going to be peaks? There's going to be cycles of the market going up and down, bear markets, bull markets. We don't want to just keep buying the top. But in terms of the macroeconomic policy, it's clear that crypto is the way forward. And we just had the FOMC yesterday, and Jerome Powell came to talk about saying that the next rate change, very unlikely is going to be a hike. Most likely it's going to be a decrease. And right now we're at 525 to 550 basis points. And the next predicted cut to 500 to 525 basis points is in September. And in recent videos, I spoke about how when interest rates are high, it means that risky assets are bleeding into less risky assets. So things like Bitcoin bleeding into, let's say, things like real estate. But within the crypto markets itself, it's going to be things from Total 3 bleeding into things like Ethereum and Bitcoin. But when interest rates are decreased, it means the market now is risk on again. People are willing to take more risks, and therefore they'll be selling their Bitcoin, selling the ETH, going into smaller market cap coins because there's more risk willing to be taken for more gains. So when that does happen, the whole market benefits from it. And that could be, right now, predicted 48% to happen in 18th of September 2024. And then we've also got the ETFs. We had American ETFs approved, and now we also have the ETFs in Hong Kong for BTC and ETH. And you can see that when it was first launched, Bitcoin sold $8.5 million in 1 day and ETH $2.5 million. Comparing that to the US ETF of just Bitcoin was $655 million for the day. So there is a big difference. And yeah, you can have all the hype about Bitcoin ETF, everyone's going to keep buying, but you can see America is one of the biggest markets at 655 million in day one compared to 8.5 million. So maybe the hype isn't all that there, but I think there is still a lot of room to grow from here, but we can't just always just buy into the hype of ETF. American ETFs though, on the other hand, yes, we can buy into that hype, I believe, at 655 million. And Morgan Stanley just assembles another 15,000 brokers army to promote the Bitcoin ETFs. So we know that there was already a lot of inflow coming into the Bitcoin ETFs when it first launched. And now Morgan Stanley, one of the biggest banks, is putting another 15,000 brokers to go and sell more Bitcoin ETFs. Looking at the Bitcoin ETF flow in the last few days, it has been very red. There's been constant red, 200 million, 120 million, 83, 51, 161, 563, and then yesterday at 34.4. It is still overall positive. I think we're just seeing a bit of a capitulation here. But with the Bitcoin ETF now available, I think it is going to allow the market to shoot up much higher, comparing to what Pentoshi was saying, that we're not going to see the amount of growth because we're going to see diminishing returns. If last time we saw a 5x, this time we're not going to see a 5x, maybe we'll see a 2.5. But what is different this time is that there are ETFs. There's a lot more traditional finance money on the sidelines that can easily get into the markets, which we could say that it's going to be different this time. We're going to have to wait and see. But I do think that as the market becomes more reflexive and is basically having floodgates opened, that people can now get money from sidelines in traditional finance that used to be in real estate, used to be in stocks and bonds, of just really boring things. They can now very easily, through the same company, let's say they're already investing with Morgan Stanley, put this into Bitcoin. And we do know that when Bitcoin just shoots up, all the alts follow it. And now I want to cover more of a topic to do with the altcoins and how it's bottoming against Bitcoin and why this might be a telltale sign that the market has actually bottomed. And just to show you what I mean, a good way to gauge when the bottom is in is when the alt BTC pairs are going up. So when Bitcoin's going down, let's say 2%, but the alts only go down 1%. So Bitcoin is crashing harder than the alts in terms of USDT, and the alt BTC pairs are going up. So just show you on the graph here, when the crash came a couple days ago from the 30th of April to the 1st of May, just measuring from the top here to where it closed was 8.55%. And if you go to others, which is total market cap excluding top 10, at the top here where it opened and it even closed green was only 5%. So BTC fell about 8% and alts outside of top 10 only fell 5%. And you can see the recovery today. The total market cap is going up by 3.79%, and the others market cap of 4.13% is going up the most. So it went down less with the crash, and it's bouncing harder. So this could indicate that it's a short-term bottom here for the alts. And then just to go over the altcoin season, if this is truly right and what Rec Capital is saying, as he did time it correctly in January, he was saying that according to altcoin hype cycles, altcoins may bottom in the coming weeks before their next leg up coming into the halving. And altcoins did bottom between January and February when we saw the massive run-up of the altcoin hype cycle, where there was a lot of altcoins doing the 1020x's, especially in AI from February, March till April. That follows this line up here. And going to the halving, we did see the meme coins top off. We did see the AI coins top off. And they're starting to come down now. And what Rec Capital is saying that it's going to bottom again between April and July. That's going to be May, June time, and come back up again for July to have the next altcoin hype cycle. So there is no rush. If you're going to be following this, there's no rush to buy the altcoins right now. If you are going to buy, you could wait a little and just have to see if there's going to be another Bitcoin shakeout. Maybe going to come and sweep the lows down again at the 57K. We never know. This was the original range low that got taken out. And now we've pumped above. Let's see if we can actually hold above this range low, which is about 60.8K. We might see another come down, another sweep of the range lows before going back up. And I don't think there is a rush to go and make any purchases just yet. Miles Deutscher did have a very interesting quote that I think everyone should read. And one quote that consistently saves me from making bad financial decisions time and time again. When trying to make money, act slow. When trying to protect money, act quickly. So if the market is crashing and you want to protect your money, ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I protecting my money? Okay, sell. But right now we're trying to make money. So there's no rush to, put in all of your money right now. You want to act slowly. You want to be buying alts right now, maybe put them in clips, 25% each time, and then spread your money out, right? If this is truly correct in the terms of the altcoin hype cycle, you've got another month or two before the altcoins are going to bottom out. So maybe you want to spread your money that you're going to put in over the space of 4 weeks, 8 weeks. There's no rush to do it. And now let's cover some altcoins in the gaming space that I think you should have your eyes on, and I'm going to show you why. So with Virtual Bacon, he's basically saying that ZENT is here. ZENT, so GuildFi just changed their name from GuildFi to ZENT. He's saying if you've seen the migration play from MC, which was Merit Circle, to Beam, they should click instantly. So last bull run, there was a coin called Merit Circle, which is about creating a guild, creating a bunch of gamers to do play to earn, to create marketplace, NFTs, basically entire infrastructure for gaming. And they rebranded from Merit Circle to Beam. And the person who actually created is big part, not just created, a big part of Merit Circle and Beam, they're the same crew, is actually Pentoshi. So people always say, I'm buying the Penguin coin. They're talking about Pentoshi here. And what you saw in terms of the growth of Beam, which was an absolutely massive, if you look at the run up from Beam in November 2023, so only 4 or 5 months ago, 0.004. Now it's at 0.025, right? So it did a massive run here, going up to 0.04 from 0.004, so a 10x. And what he's saying is, if you've seen what Beam did, then ZENT should click immediately, because Beam is doing the same thing as GuildFi. And what does Beam do? So as I said, I've covered them in a previous video. They've got devs, so devs can come and build on it. It's an infrastructure play. They've got a marketplace. They've got their own games, got NFTs, and they've also got tournaments and quests that you can complete. So GuildFi is going to be doing the same thing. GuildFi is all based around gaming. They got games, marketplace, quests, leaderboard, whatever you want in terms of infrastructure. This is the place to go. And if you just look at compare the two market caps of GuildFi and Beam here, right now it's a difference of 8.92x. If GuildFi was going to go to the same market cap as Beam at the moment, and by the way, you can do this with any of your coins on marketcapof.com. And if it's to do with the Beam all-time high, that means GuildFi or ZENT can grow another 14.81x. Another interesting project, ZKrace, that had a massive run last year, in the last bull run, up to 2021, was worth $8. As you can see here, they had a massive run at a market cap around 250 million. Horse racing game, gambling, very similar to what is the game right now, which is Crown, which is photo finish live. They've just rebranded, and now they're not only just a horse racing game, but they're also going to be an infrastructure play. So we know that when gaming goes up, all the infrastructure plays are going up as well, right? So if you believe that ZKrace can deliver on this gaming infrastructure play, I would wait a little bit, because have you seen as we've seen the price action from the bear market, they've just gone lower, 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 lower. Now I'm not too sure why they actually haven't launched as many features, because they were leading photo finish live in the last bull run. My only guess is that because their circling supply is already completely out, their team doesn't have any more of an incentive to continue working, because they've already got all their tokens. Maybe they've already sold it. Maybe they all sold it at the top of the last bull market. So if they keep making the game better and better and better, they're not going to have more tokens released that they can sell into, right? But they're still going to be able to collect fees from the game. So I'm not too sure actually why they haven't delivered. They've sort of fallen off. It's quite disappointing, because I thought they had an amazing project, but I'm happy to see that they have rebranded and they're now going into GameFi infrastructure. So they're going to obviously still have their game, which is ZKrace, which is now called ZKrace, so ZKrace. But let's see what they can do with the infrastructure. I'm going to wait a little bit, and I'm going to see how the price action goes, what sort of updates they come out with, what sort of infrastructure they actually provide. And then from there, I'm going to make a decision if I want to keep investing into them. Just to go over my watch list, what sort of coins I'm looking at the moment. I'm going to make another video later on, and I'm going to go over my entire ultimate portfolio, the things that I think are the best. If I had to build the best 100x portfolio, what do I put into it? And that's going to be another video, but just to quickly cover it, there's the best leaders of this year so far have been memes, real world assets, and AI. And I'm also going to add gaming in there. Gaming hasn't done as well, but I believe that gaming is going to have a massive run this year. There's way better infrastructure, there's way more players, there's way better technology, and there's better tokenomics now. So if I was to create my perfect portfolio, just to quickly give you a brief one, it's going to be the ones in gaming infrastructure. There's going to be Beam, there's going to be Echelon Prime, there's Super, there's going to be AI, which is going to be PAL, which is going to be like creating bots. OXO is privacy in AI. Wilder World is going to be gaming and metaverse. They just did the partnership with Samsung, so massive tier 1 level partnership. You don't see it a lot in crypto. Aether again is privacy within AI. Seedify is going to be launch pads within gaming. So whenever the gaming bull run goes up, everyone wants to get these early allocations because they literally do 10, 15x's in bull runs. Seedify is the biggest launch pad. Hash AI, again, this is going to be in Deepin, which is the decentralized physical infrastructure networks within AI. GPU, same, is going to be Deepin. Hash AI is about mining for Bitcoin. GPU is about GPU processors, so helping games, streamers, whatever, need to render more graphics, render better videos, but they don't have the right power in their computer to do it themselves. They can basically rent and use it from another computer in the cloud and stream that into their own system. Other games, Crown, as I said, I really liked ZKrace last run, but this time it's going to be Crown because I think they've just continued to deliver throughout the bear market, and now they're the the leading horse racing game. I'd look at Sidus as well. They were just a game, but now they're going to add a launchpad feature, which is what Seedify have. Ponky, great meme on Solana. Ultra, again, gaming infrastructure. Gonna look at maybe Moontropica. Moontropica has a great community around it. There's a very meme-ish. That's one thing I think you want to, when you can look at different coins that have an intersection between many industries, that's going to be the best. So if you can find one that is intersected with memes, gaming, and AI, that would be the perfect. So Moontropica has intersection of gaming and memes. Shrapnel, I believe that AVAX is going to have a massive run as a layer 1, and the games within the layer 1 have even more X's in there. So Shrapnel as a game within AVAX. Altura, another one, which is gaming infrastructure. Kata Inu has gaming and memes. What else? We've got Game Starter, another very small launchpad, only worth 4.8 million. I think that's going to run numbers when the gaming bull run takes off. We've got Carrot, which is by My Pet Hooligan. Massive partnerships across all the different games, tier 1 partnerships. Launching into a sideways and down market is not going to do as well. Currently valued at 76 million. I think this easily goes to 500 million if the bull market goes like out of control, maybe even $1 billion. I think Carrot 100% is going to do very well. Destra, one of my favorite ones. Again, AI, Deepin, Games GG, and also go and watch this video that I made, which is how to make 100x trading tiny crypto coins. It's probably the best video that I've ever made, and this is not something that you need to watch and it's only lasting for 2 days. The way I explain this video is going to be an evergreen style, which means I'm teaching you how to think about how to find 100x coins, right? So go and watch this video because you're going to understand how to search for 100x coins. Like I said, AVAX, a layer 1 that's about to pop off. How do you go and find the coins within AVAX? You really want to know that, especially when the market is going down right now and sideways. Like I said, this is the time to stay alert, to stay focused, and to keep sharp, right? Not go away and then Bitcoin comes back and it's like 70, 80K and oh my God, this is amazing. You come back and buy the top again. You want to make sure that you stay sharp right now and you're investing when the market is low. You don't want to be running away, coming back, buying the top, and then just losing all your money again. That's not the best way to do it. Hopefully that made sense. This video is more about just macroeconomics and where I think the whole crypto market is going in the long term. The next video, I'm going to come out with more specific video going over the different coins that I'm looking at that I think would make up a 100x portfolio. Again, if you're staying and watching till now, appreciate you. See you in the next video.